What's the entire truth about the ancient two sleeps phenomenon? Here is the truth. Come with me. What I'm about to show you isn't what you think.
Our history and the universe connecting human future.
It's 2 a.m. You're wide awake. No reason, no alarm, just awake. You reach for your phone, feel a flicker of guilt, and wonder, is something wrong with me? Millions of people have asked that same question, and millions have found the same answer online. An idea called two sleeps, the theory that humans didn't always sleep in one 8-hour block, that we used to wake up in the middle of the night on purpose every single night. That video has been watched by millions. But before you accept it as history, I want to show you what the actual research says, because the real story is stranger, older, and a lot less certain than the internet version. For most of human history, night wasn't just dark, it was total. No streetlights, no candles, no moon guaranteed. Just black. And in that darkness, we were prey, small, slow, and blind after sunset. For hundreds of thousands of years, night was simply something to survive. Then came fire. Researchers studying South Africa's Wonderwork Cave found some of the earliest solid evidence of controlled fire use by early humans. Burnt bone and ash layers dating back roughly 1 million years. Fire didn't just add heat, it added 30 feet of safe, lit space, a bubble where you could finally see who was next to you. And anthropologists studying the Juhonsi Bushmen of the Kalahari found something telling. Daytime conversation among them was mostly practical. Complaints, gossip, logistics. But firelight talk was different. That's when the stories came out. The myths, the history, the jokes. In other words, the campfire may be one of the first stages humans ever built. And once we had light, we had time. Time awake, at night, doing something other than just sleeping through the danger. Here's where the two sleeps theory actually comes from, and it's more specific than most videos let on. Historian Roger E. Kirch spent years combing through pre-industrial diaries, court depositions, and literature from the British Isles. He found hundreds of casual references to a first sleep and a second sleep, with a waking period in between. People would go to bed shortly after dark, sleep for a few hours, wake up for a stretch in the middle of the night, and then fall into a second sleep before dawn. And it's not just historical anecdote. In 1992, sleep researcher Thomas Ware ran an experiment. He put participants in near total darkness for 14 hours a day, mimicking ancient winter nights, with no artificial light. Within weeks, their sleep split into two distinct phases, separated by an hour or two of calm, quiet wakefulness. Left alone with enough darkness, the human body did seem to fall into this two-part rhythm. E. Kirch's sources gave that middle window a name, the watch. Not a groggy limbo, a lucid one. People used it to pray, to think, to talk quietly with a partner, or just lie still in the dark. Some physicians of the era even wrote that this gap was when digestion settled and the mind cleared. Considered at the time a perfectly ordinary part of the night. Which raises an interesting thought. If you wake at 2 a.m. today and panic that something's broken, maybe your body isn't malfunctioning. Maybe it's echoing a pattern that at one point was just Tuesday night. Here's where I want to slow down, because this is usually where these videos stop. And stopping here overstates the case. Kirch's written evidence comes almost entirely from England, Scotland, France, and a handful of European sources. A few hundred years of records from one part of the world. It's compelling evidence for one place and time, not proof of a universal human default stretching back 300,000 years. Anthropologists studying present-day hunter-gatherer groups, communities without electricity right now, have found something different, mostly single, consolidated sleep periods, not a strict two-phase split. Sleep patterns, it turns out, vary a lot by climate, season, and culture. Even Ware's famous experiment used artificially long, near-total darkness. A condition modern humans, and possibly many ancient ones too, rarely experienced in mild seasons or warmer climates. Biphasic sleep may be less a lost universal truth, and more a real, documented response to a very specific set of dark, cold conditions. So the honest answer is somewhere in between the two extremes. Not a myth. The historical record is real, but not the single ancient worldwide default some videos claim either. What we can say with confidence is this. Artificial light rewired the night. In 1667, Paris became one of the first cities to light its streets after dark, under orders from Lieutenant General Gabriel Nicolas de Lorraine. And that same era gives us a word we still use, curfew, from the French couvre-feu. Cover the fire, literally in order to smother the flames and go dark. Fast forward to today, and light hasn't just pushed back the dark, it's erased the signal our bodies used to read. Researchers sent campers into the wilderness for a week, no phones, no artificial light, and found their circadian clocks shifted by nearly 2 hours, syncing back to true sunrise and sunset. Take away the modern light, and something old and dormant seems to switch back on. So the next time you wake at 2 a.m. for no reason at all, you probably haven't broken anything. You might just be standing for a few quiet minutes in a doorway your ancestors used to know well. Real evidence, real limits. You decide where the truth actually sits. If you want to go further back, before fire, before sleep even had a name, I've got a video on exactly what ancient humans did with their days. Link's right there.
Our history and the universe connecting human future.